Welcome back into Studio 814. Time for some 814 Your Look. We're going to continue on our Giovana Tome segment, doing all kinds of makeup tips and tricks, of course, to add different dimension in your face. Do you want to continue on here and tell us the progress that you've made on JD?
Yeah, so right now her skin is already full prepared. So we already have the foundation on and we have the blush. So my tip for the blush, it's always give it like two fingers from your nose, and then you're gonna start from there, because if you put too close to the face, it's gonna drag your face downwards, and we don't want that. We want to accentuate the cheekbones. So whenever you're gonna do your blush, never go too bold for it. Always consider your skin type, and you can start very light and you can build gradually the color that you wish for.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. I love blush.
Oh personally. Yeah, blush changes everything in the makeup.
Okay, what are you going to continue on with next?
So right now I'm doing the contour tips. Ooh. So the contour, I always like to not get a too dark one. So whenever people think that they need to look very, very bronzy, they get a very strong contour. But this will make you lose so much time because you gotta blend it forever. So just get like one tone, one shade or two shades darker than your face, and then you start building up. So where I like to put my contour, I like to put on the cheeks, on the chin to accentuate this bone, and then I like to do on the bottom of the nose to kind of like lift your nose a little bit, and then in the bridges. And these two lines that you do, the closer they are, the thinner the nose is gonna look. And in the cheekbones, there is people that they do too much like down placement. So I always do like get this end of the ear and go downwards, but always keeping the 2-finger rule. You're never gonna go too much like down.
Don't go past that. So we're really lifting, pulling everything up.
Yes, and the other side, you can turn right here. And you kind of work your way in. So it's not gonna be one line the contour and the other line the blush and the highlighter. It's always gonna blend in where you can see the transition between all them three. It's gonna be like, it's not gonna be ice cream. It's gonna be everything blended. So after that, you can start building layers on your contour. You can grab more. I always like to put a little bit on the forehead because the contour, it will return every shadow the foundation took. So when you put foundation, it's gonna be everything flat, and the contour is gonna bring back the life.
Yes.
So whenever people receive more sun is the forehead and the nose, so they gotta be a little bit more darker than the rest of the face to look more natural. Yes, and then after everything is done and everything is set, my secret to make the makeup last more is to set very good the skin. So use a loose powder or a compact powder. The compact powder will give you a little bit more coverage, and the loose powder will give you less coverage, but it will accentuate less the fine lines. So the more thicker the product, the more it's gonna accentuate stuff on your skin.
Okay.
So I do like to get a powder puff, and I take the excess on my hand, and you gradually start setting your skin. So the more oilier is your face, the more you gotta set your skin. If your face gets shiny throughout the day, especially on the T-zone, which is forehead, nose, chin, you gotta really take care.
Press it in.
Yes, really dab it in and take care of this
So sometimes they call this baking?
Yeah, baking is when you put a big amount of powder and leave on your face, and then when you finish the whole makeup, you just brush it off.
Okay.
So I don't like to do that, especially when your skin is too dry, because it can accentuate the fine lines. But if you need a stage makeup, if you need your makeup to last the whole day, this would be alternative if you have very oily skin.
Okay, so
Yes.
different techniques for whatever you're going for.
Different techniques,
Yeah.
yes. That's why you need to really learn about makeup and the way you want everything to be done in your face.
Yeah.
Yes. And now for the eyes, I always recommend you to use a lighter shade if your skin tone is lighter and you work your way through the darker. So for her, I will start with like a neutral eyes, and I always go like from the outer corner of her eyes towards the inner corner. So every time we put the foundation and she open your eyes, kind of crease a little bit. And then you come with the sponge and you undo this crease, and then you start with a very fluffy brush, you start just
And that really
blending
helps
it
you
in.
blend some of
Yes.
those colors.
And in a way that when she open her eyes, you can open, this part is gonna really be accentuated. So if you have hooded eyes, you can really accentuate, like make this part a little bit darker to bring depth to your
Yes.
eyes. Yes.
Right in that crease.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes there is people that they have this part a little bit deep. So if you put a lighter shade in here, you're gonna visually bring it up. So you're gonna accentuate this part, and you're gonna make it look less deep.
Yeah.
So everything that we make it darker is gonna look deeper, and everything that we make lighter is gonna look less deep. So that's the game of lights and shadows that we do with our eyes to accentuate it.
That's perfect.
Yes.
All kinds of great tips and tricks, of course, to help you look more awake, more alive, and keep that natural glow. Giovana, if people want to reach out to you, learn more about your makeup services, what's the best way to find you?
The best way is email or text message, but if you really want to see my work, you can go on my Instagram. There's lots of wedding tips and makeup tricks just like the ones I give here today.
Yes, all good stuff. She's got a great following on social media too. A lot of fun behind the scenes videos before and
Yes.
after. So we appreciate you stopping by. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for
was
the
excellent.
opportunity. I love it.
Yes. And thanks so much for joining us this week. We wanted to let you know that some of today's paid segment sponsors were